Whoa! Extreme! Meet the Extreme Team! Max, Rex, Dex, Alexis. These daredevils live their life with Rexless abandon. That's Reckless with an X. In today's turbocharged video, we're taking a look at the Radical Racer. Okay, I can't do this for the whole video. 6589 is an interesting set because, as far as I can tell, it was only ever released in North America, packaged along with this baseplate, never sold separately or overseas. We've seen other plastic peripherals from LEGO in previous videos, but there's always been an option to buy the set without them, often indicated by the use of multiple set numbers. So by taking a look at the Radical Racer, we must also acknowledge the Rocky Ridge playscape that came with it.
Rock Ridge, splendid.
We'll get to the vehicle and alternate builds, don't you worry, but first I feel like we've got to address an elephant in the room. Some of you might already be asking this question: where are the studs on this raised baseplate? Well, there aren't any, and believe it or not, but this wasn't unheard of at the time. The LEGO Group used to dabble in the noble art of studless baseplates back in the 90s and would sometimes include them with small to mid-tier sets. A lot of the large plastic add-ons stretch the definition of baseplate, I will admit, but there are some notable entries here, such as the eponymous Rocky Ridge playscape we're looking at today. Molded in dark orange plastic, this hardy piece creates a setting reminiscent of the Grand Canyon. While a common color today, dark orange was a distinct rarity in this era, having only been introduced within LEGO Duplo in 1994. Even by 1998, dark orange was still only found within Duplo sets, making its appearance here a noteworthy one. I'd imagine many system builders who saw this on store shelves in 1998 had never seen LEGO pieces in this color before. Quite the selling feature. Unlike typical raised baseplates, there's no printing to be found anywhere on the Rocky Ridge playscape. In fact, the box art encourages playing with the elements. In my estimation, the baseplate's hollow nature makes it an ideal toy for a sandbox or the beach. Although the playscape cannot interact with system elements along the bottom of it, the surface is contoured with several alcoves that quite conveniently fit any piece with a 2x2 footprint. There are 5 such indentations included, allowing for multiple rock formations and structures to be added. It's perhaps not as versatile as a regular raised baseplate, but I've got to admit that the lack of studs ever leads to a cleaner look overall. As mentioned before, Extreme Team was not the only theme to receive a studless baseplate. Another notable entry is this incarnation from LEGO Scala, and believe me, we'll get to that series eventually. Unlike the Rocky Ridge playscape, this baseplate is not only adorned in multiple layers of printing, but it also locks in with system along the bottom, allowing for a rare occurrence of baseplate stacking. I found that to be the best way to utilize this baseplate, combining with regular system builds along the side. There are 2 indentations to hold bricks on the surface, though only one is sized for a 2x2 footprint. The other covers a much larger area, 8x8. There are various modular builds that fit these dimensions, but I found building something to suit the baseplate's printing produced the best results. Although this particular baseplate was later reused for Belleville, studless design was of its era and was phased out not long after. Raised baseplates in general are long extinct, and sadly, I fear the same is coming for baseplates of all sizes. I don't predict this will happen tomorrow or anything, but it feels like LEGO is keeping traditional baseplates around begrudgingly out of a weird sense of obligation. We've already witnessed the demise of road plates, and it's really only modular buildings and the odd set that even use the traditional baseplate anymore. LEGO stopped innovating in this field long ago and now commonly decides to cover every single stud of a baseplate when they do see use. It's shameful to see them relegated to this unglamorous existence, and while I can understand reasons why the old baseplates were sometimes annoying to work with, there is something to be said for the presence and size they brought to a set. We are losing something by leaving this piece of LEGO history behind. Whew. Sorry for the tangent, everyone. I I love base plates. Let's wrap things up by taking a look at the Radical Racer. I had a ton of fun building with this set recently, and because of the limitations involved with its initial release, I want to go through and catalog all of the alternate builds as well, both on the back of the box and on the back of the playscape itself. Quite curiously, a few of the alternate builds do not use the stickers that came included in the set, so I actually built and photographed these models first, before getting to the main builds. Because of this, I'd actually like to look at them in this order. Starting with the plow vehicle found on the back of the box, this build was a great introduction to the various pieces in this set. I've stated my love for this wheel type before, but I've got to say that the proportions between the wheels and chassis here work even better for me than they did with the Hypno Cruiser. I got a ton of Rock Monster Truck vibes when building this one, which is to say, I absolutely loved it. The second build looks to be a bit more of an off-roader and utilizes these two bullhorn elements on either side of the hood. Even though the main model only uses a single one of these pieces, the set comes with a full sprue of them, making this an alternate build that technically uses pieces not included in the primary build. Quite the rarity, to say the least. I find this third build to be quite the cute little racer. The oversized tires and tiny front nose make for a delightful model. We finally get to see the first stickered element in full display here, with the Extreme Team logo plastered on the rear spoiler. It really is interesting to see how many unique vehicles can be constructed with less than 100 pieces and a little imagination. Finally, we arrive at the main attraction, the Radical Racer. Here we get to see all of the parts from the previous builds in their full glory, with some new pieces added into the mix as well. These large chrome silver exhaust pipes are a striking standout, as is the flame-stickered front end housing the engine. This jail bar piece is used to great effect as a reinforced bumper, and the choice of hood ornament is definitely memorable. I really appreciate the white and black striping along the side of the vehicle, created through the use of plates. The satisfying way the contour of the body leads into the spoiler was a welcome surprise. There's a great attention to detail here, despite the meager piece count. As a builder, the journey up to this point has been wonderful. I build a lot of LEGO sets, all the time, but it's rare that one inspires me to drop everything and write a full video about it. Given the uniqueness and apparent rarity of this set though, I hope this video does the Radical Racer justice. I've been your host, RR Slugger, and I hope to see you next time for something a little less extreme.